I found out my sister's wedding was happening tomorrow from a panicked voicemail left by her wedding planner, not from an invitation, because apparently my own family decided to cancel my invite. While quietly pocketing the $60,000 I'd contributed to make the day happen, I was standing in my kitchen, frozen, listening to this woman apologize for the last-minute guest list adjustment, and asking if I wanted my personalized seating cards forwarded to my home address, since I wouldn't be needing them at the venue. My heart didn't just drop, it felt like it had been surgically removed from my chest. I had spent 2 years working overtime, skipping vacations, and living on ramen to fund my baby sister's dream wedding, only to be ghosted by the people I shared blood with. Was I wrong for what I did next, or would you have burned every bridge just like I did? I need you to listen to the whole story and tell me if I went too far, because right now, I'm the villain in my family's eyes, and I honestly don't care. To understand how we got here, you have to understand the dynamic of the Miller family. I'm the eldest, 32, and for as long as I can remember, I've been the provider. My sister, Chloe, is 24 and has always been the golden child. She's beautiful, charming, and has a way of making everyone feel like her personal problems are national emergencies. Our parents, Susan and David, aren't wealthy. They're hardworking people, but they never had much of a savings account. When Chloe got engaged to her college sweetheart, Mark, the vision for the wedding immediately spiraled out of control. We're talking a historic estate in the countryside, a custom designer gown, a 5-tier cake, and a guest list of 300 people. Chloe sat me down 2 years ago, crying about how she'd never have the wedding she dreamed of because she and Mark were just starting their careers. My parents looked at me with those puppy dog eyes, and like the dutiful big brother, I stepped up. I told them I'd cover the bulk of the costs. I'm an architect and I've been lucky with my career, but $60,000 was still a massive, life-altering amount of money for me. I saw it as a gift, a way to show my family I loved them and to give Chloe a head start in life without wedding debt. I was the one signing the contracts, sending the wire transfers to the florist, the caterer, and the venue. I was the silent financier behind the wedding of the decade. As the wedding approached, things started getting weird. Communication from Chloe became sparse. My mom stopped calling me to check in and only texted when a payment was due. I figured they were just stressed with planning. Then, 2 months ago, I noticed I hadn't received my formal invitation in the mail. I mentioned it to my mom, and she laughed it off, saying, "Oh honey, your family. You don't need a piece of paper to know you're the most important guest there." I felt a bit slighted, but I let it go. I even helped Chloe pick out her shoes over FaceTime, despite her being weirdly evasive about the rehearsal dinner details. Every time I asked for the itinerary, she'd say she was still finalizing the timeline and would send it over soon. I was so blinded by my own desire to be the hero of the family that I didn't see the knife they were sharpening for my back. I had already paid the final balance on the venue and the catering, the big-ticket items, when the silence became deafening. I hadn't heard from any of them in 2 weeks. I sent texts, made calls, and got nothing but busy, talk later, replies. That brings us back to the voicemail from the wedding planner, Sarah. Sarah didn't know the family politics. She just saw my name on the invoices and assumed I was the one who authorized the downsizing. Apparently, my mother had called her and told her that I had a work emergency and wouldn't be able to make it, and that they should give my seat and my +1 seat to Mark's distant cousins who were originally on the wait list. They didn't tell me. They just let me keep paying until the checks cleared, then cut me out of the celebration I funded. I sat there in my dark kitchen, the voicemail playing on a loop, and I felt a cold, hard rage settle in my bones. They didn't just exclude me, they stole from me. They used me as an ATM and then threw the card in the trash once the balance hit zero. I tried calling my mom, no answer. I called Chloe, straight to voicemail. I called my dad. He picked up, sounded guilty as hell, and then hung up when I started yelling. So, that's where I was. I had a choice to make. I could either sit at home and cry about it, or I could take back what was mine. Before I tell you exactly how I dismantled my sister's dream day, in under an hour, I want you to pause right here, think about the betrayal, think about the $60,000. Go down to the comments right now and tell me, would you have walked away to keep the peace, or would you have chosen the path of scorched earth? What would you have done in my shoes? I chose scorched earth. See, the thing my family forgot is that while they were the ones planning the wedding, my name was the only one. On the legal contracts, I was the client, not Chloe, not my parents, me. I pulled up my laptop and started making calls. First, I called the venue. I told them that as the primary contract holder, I was exercising my right to cancel the event effective immediately. The manager was shocked, mentioning the massive cancellation fees. I told him, keep the deposit, keep the fees, just lock the doors. If anyone shows up, tell them the bill wasn't settled. Next, I called the caterer, $15,000 for a 5-course meal, canceled. I told them to donate the food or do whatever they wanted with it, but my credit card was no longer authorizing the final service. Then came the florist, the photographer, and the DJ. One by one, I pulled the plug. I wasn't even asking for refunds at that point. Most of the money was gone anyway due to the late notice, but I was ensuring that the services I paid for would not be rendered for people who didn't want me in the room. The morning of the wedding, I woke up, feeling lighter than I had in years. I turned my phone off and went to a luxury spa 2 towns over. I spent the day getting a massage, sitting in the sauna, and eating a steak dinner that I actually got to enjoy. When I finally turned my phone back on at 6:00 p.m., the time the ceremony was supposed to be starting, it nearly exploded. I had 142 missed calls and over 300 text messages. There were videos of my sister standing outside the locked gates of the estate in her white dress, sobbing hysterically while the rain started to fall. There were voicemails from my mother screaming that I was a monster and a sociopath who ruined her daughter's life. My dad sent a text saying I was no longer his son. Even Mark, the groom, sent me a message calling me a petty loser for taking out my frustrations on their special day. I didn't reply to any of them. Instead, I posted a single status on Facebook, tagging everyone involved. I wrote, I hope everyone enjoyed the wedding I paid $60,000 for. Oh wait, you didn't, because you forgot that you can't fire the person who signs the paychecks. If you wanted me out of your lives, you should have returned my money first. Enjoy the reception at McDonald's. The fallout was nuclear. My extended family is split. Some think I'm a legend for standing up for myself, while others think I'm cruel for ruining a once-in-a-lifetime moment over a minor dispute. My parents haven't spoken to me in months, and Chloe is supposedly seeing a therapist because of the trauma of her wedding day being canceled. They tried to sue me to get the money back for the lost event. But since I was the one who signed the contracts and I was the one who canceled them, their lawyer basically laughed them out of the office. The moral of the story is simple. Never let people mistake your kindness for weakness, and never, ever fund a lifestyle for people who don't respect you enough to give you a seat at the table. I lost $60,000, sure, but I consider that the price of tuition for a very valuable lesson in who my family really is. I'm starting 2026 with a lot less money, but a lot more self-respect. If you think I was right to shut it down, hit that like button right now. If you think I should have just let them have their day and dealt with the money later, tell me why in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories of people getting exactly what they deserve. I'll see you all in the next story.